stories from Marion, Virginia. Marion is located in Smith County in the mountains of southwest Virginia, and it's time once again for the annual Marion Holiday Kaleidoscope Parade. 1997 marks the 10th anniversary of the parade, so before it begins, we're going to take a look behind the scenes. First, we caught up with John Saunders of the Marion Rotary Club. He's been involved with the parade for 7 years.
I'd like to give some credit to the two ladies that actually started this. They saw how the parade was and had a vision about how they thought the parade should be, and they got on their own and spent a whole year finding out how to do things and getting the route set up. Rita Copenhaver and Brenda Umbarger, and they both spent a lot of time to get it organized to the point that it is today. The Rotary Club has picked it up and continued organizing it, but we've basically used their structure to make it easy and make the parade you see today. We bring in a group of professional floats from Catawba, North Carolina, and we get local businesses and civic groups to sponsor the floats, and we let as many different groups as we can find ride the floats, and we found that it allows more people to ride. Not everybody can build a float or get a pickup truck, and it allows a lot of people to ride that wouldn't have any other way to participate in the parade. We've tried to keep it the same. Originally we didn't have the horses, and we've added those, and of course different groups have come in and different groups have gone out, and each group that participates has their own special way to participate and design their floats. So while the basic structure is the same, the units are always a little different.
One way the Rotary Club helps to build excitement for the parade is through a coloring contest.
Well, we started the coloring contest as a way to promote the parade in the primary schools, and we distribute posters to all the children in grades K through 6, I believe, and we let them color the picture and turn it back in, and we have judges pick winners from each grade, and one of the prizes is they get to ride one of the professional floats. They also get a picture taken with Santa, who we expect to show up in another few minutes.
In addition to floats and bands, the parade has a few unusual entries. One big crowd pleaser is Wooly the Mammoth.
Wooly originally came into being to be a mascot for the Museum of the Middle Appalachians for Saltville, Virginia. We use it to bring attention to the town of Saltville and their tourism efforts, the museum, and as well as the town as a whole. And the kids seem to get a real big thrill out of it, and we've been running Wooly now for about 6 years.
What is our friend the mammoth made out of back here?
The Mama Wooly, it's an old international pickup truck, which is also extinct. They don't make them anymore. And it's got polypropylene baling twine on it, several thousand feet. And the friends of the museum helped build it, put all the twine on it, and we've had a lot of fun with it. This is actually the third version of Wooly, and this one we worked on it about 2 months, I guess.
Among the other popular entries are the shrine units. The Kazim Abnormals have been in the Marion Holiday Kaleidoscope Parade since the beginning and always bring a laugh.
We're from Washington County, Virginia. Most of us from Abington, Damascus. We're called the Abnormals. It was originally the Abington Nobility, and we changed it just short to the Abnormals because we got a little bit of everything. We have belly dancers and camels and trucks and cars and clowns, and put on some good music and try to put on a good show for the children. In Marion Parade, we've been here 10 years now. This is our 10th year. The unit itself has gone as far as New Orleans, as far north as Indianapolis, and as far east as Myrtle Beach. We usually do about 26 to 30 parades a year.
Another popular group is the Surrey Shrine Mini Truckers.
We bought these Kenworths in 1988 and started parading. We go to about 8 or 10 different cities all over the country, parading Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, and different ones. We enjoy it. The kids enjoy it. We just come from Spruce Pines last night. We had a Saturday afternoon parade. The kids love the little trucks, and that's what it's all about. We're from Mount Airy, North Carolina. We're the Surrey Shrine Mini Truckers. We parade for crippled and burned children, the Burn Children's Hospital. And we out of Mount Airy. Our base is in Charlotte, North Carolina, Oasis Temple.
One of the highlights of the parade is all of the candy that the fire department hands out. And each year they need more and more because the crowds have continued to grow over the past 10 years.
And pound-wise, it was about 600 pounds. This is 8 or 10 years ago. Now it's really crippled. Well, it seems like now the crowd's probably tripled. We go a lot further in the parade. We used to just go downtown. Now we go on out on the other end, which is still downtown, but it's about 3 times as far as we used to go. And there's probably 3 times as many people now. Lots more kids, seems like. So it's a long way out there. I think it's about 1.5 miles to the other end before we go.
Does everybody seem to have a good time?
Everybody's hollering and hooping, waiting on that candy and Santa Claus to get there.
And now it's time for the parade to begin. The parade is sponsored by the town of Marion and organized by the Marion Rotary Club. The Marion Holiday Kaleidoscope Parade is in its 10th year. Here is the parade banner carried by members of the Rotary Club, Lisa Mitchell and Diane Slimp. Following the banner is a color guard from VFW post number 4667. Here we have Mayor and Mrs. Marshall Guy, and they'll be followed by Marion Chief of Police Charles Overbay and Smith County Sheriff David Bradley. We would like to take this opportunity to thank the Marion Rotary Club for helping to underwrite the costs of the taping of today's parade. Here we have Delegate John Tate, re-elected in the recent campaign. He represents area voters in the Virginia General Assembly. Up next for your enjoyment is the Marion Middle School Band, directed by Hubert H. Fulton. The band is 115 students strong. Next are this year's parade marshals. They are members of the Smith County Community Hospital Ladies Auxiliary. These hardworking members of the community sponsor the Love Light Tree and perform thousands of hours of volunteer service at the hospital. Here we have some members in a nice car. And following the car, we'll have some members riding one of the professional floats from Klein Float Company of Catawba, North Carolina. Following this float will be the Marion Rotary Club banner. It will be carried this year by Roger Cooper and Kim Clark. The club's president, Charles Atkins, leads a group of men and women who follow the Rotary Club motto, service above self. In addition to organizing the Kaleidoscope Parade, the Rotary Club provides scholarships to deserving Marion Senior High School seniors, collects books sent to students in developing countries, help eradicate polio through its International Polio Plus vaccination program, and sponsors international group study exchanges and the Interact Club at Marion Senior High School. Following the banner is the Marion Rotary Club float, designed by the Klein Float Company. Riders on the float are participants of the School-Based Mentoring Program, a project sponsored by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Smith County. In this program, employees of various local industries and businesses donate at least 1 hour weekly to act as mentors to school children. The program has been a tremendous success, serving over 58 school children in Smith County. Here we have a shiny new car from Marion Automotive Group. Next up is Chilhowie Cub Scout Pack number 547. They've worked really hard on their float this year. Well, they have approximately 100 boys to participate in this organization, led by Teresa Hopkins. Coming up next, we have an entry from Diamond Cab Company with a pretty decorated float. And I believe they're throwing candy to the children. That'll tide them over till Santa Claus gets here. They also have as an entry in today's parade one of their cabs. Here we have a shiny new car from King Ford, something I'm sure everybody would like to find under their Christmas tree or in their driveway. This next float is another professional float from Klein Float Company, and it's enhanced by riders from the W.W. Scott Senior Center. And here's another new shiny vehicle from King Ford. Following them is a popular group in the parade, the Sugar Grove Sugar Twists. They number 30 girls ranging in age from 5 to 12. This group has been a regular participant in the Marion Holiday Kaleidoscope Parade. Coming up next, we can enjoy the sights and sounds of the Northwood Middle School Band, which hails from Saltville, Virginia. Let's take a listen. Following the band, we have a nice shiny new car from Marion Automotive Group. Showcased on this next float from Klein Float Company and provided by the Bank of Marion is Cub Scout Troop number 93, Den 1. These 13 boys are second-year Webelos, sponsored by the First United Methodist Church. Here we have a truck sponsored by WZVA Radio, Z103. Following them is a nice shiny vehicle from King Ford. Coming up next are some guys that always seem to have a really good time, the Surrey Shrine Mini Truckers, led by Captain Hurley Farmer. This unit includes 7 mini Kenworth trucks. This Shrine unit has traveled to the Marion Parade from Mount Airy, North Carolina. This next unit is Cub Scout Pack number 190 of Marion, Virginia. They have a decorated holiday float in today's parade. Season's Greetings says the Klein float, sponsored by VFW Post number 4667. It's decorated in red, green, white, and gold, and the float's riders are members of the VFW Andex Auxiliary. Here we have another shiny new vehicle from Marion Automotive Group. And following this car is one that's sure to be a crowd pleaser. It's the Smith County Community Hospital Home Care, and they're handing out candy. Next we have Girl Scout Troop number 404, and it's led by Tina Vernon. Following the Girl Scouts is a shiny new truck from King Ford. And here we have Smokey the Bear, visiting us today courtesy of the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area. And his message, remember, only you can prevent forest fires. And following Smokey the Bear, we have another professional float from Klein Float Company. The riders on the float are Marion Senior High School Court, featuring Miss Marion Senior High School, and the MSHS Homecoming Court. This float is sponsored by H.S. Williams Company Incorporated and Berry Enterprises. And next up, we have the Chilhowie High School Band, appearing today to lend their own brand of holiday cheer. The next entry is from Blessed Hope Baptist Church, Kelvin Welch, pastor. This next entry is from the Smith County Humane Society and includes what else but dogs and cats. Concerned about the welfare of animals, members of the society urge each individual to be a responsible pet owner, remembering the food, water, shelter, exercise, vaccinations, and spaying and neutering that his pet requires. Oh, aren't they all so cute? Following them are some animals of a different kind. We have an alligator, a turkey, a turtle, a panda, among other things, with the Kazim characters. These guys always seem to have a good time and are a real crowd pleaser. Following the Kazim characters is a vehicle from Marion Automotive Group. Next up is another professional float from Catawba, North Carolina. It's sponsored by Utility Trailer of Atkins, Virginia. And on this float, we have Santa's elves. In fact, I believe we have a message from Santa's elves later in this broadcast. This next float was decorated by TRW Steering Systems, and it's pulled by a truck provided by King Ford. This next float is from the Marion Civitan Club, which helps handicapped children, contributes to Camp Civitan, and participates in a variety of local projects. Club members are going to pass out candy to the spectators along the parade route. Sure to be a popular entry. Here we have an entry from the Smith County News Messenger. Next up is a car carrying Chilhowie High School homecoming court members. And coming up next is the Christmas Train, a Klein float sponsored by Dana Corporation. The riders are Dana employees and their children. Appearing in this year's parade again are the Kazim Truckers from Troutville, Virginia. Following them is another Shriners unit, the Kazim Abnormals, which always entertains the crowd. And I think we have a message from them later in the broadcast as well. Shriners, we have a shiny new white limo from Charlie Harrington's Classic Carriages. And back again to delight the crowd this year is the woolly mammoth and her baby from the Museum of the Middle Appalachians in Saltville. Following our friends the Mammoths, we have the Virginia Highlands Pipes and Drums. They're not only well known locally, they've been pictured in such national magazines as Southern Living and Colonial Homes. They're composed of drummers and bagpipers from all over Southwest Virginia. The Gift of Reading is the theme of the float constructed by Marion Primary School. Its Christmas tree is decorated with books. The next entry is from the Smith County Vocational School, and they're presenting their Curry House, a highly wind-resistant construction drawn and built by students at Smith County Vocational School under the supervision of its designer, Paul Curry. Also from the vocational school is a cattle and horse trailer constructed by students. Riders on the truck are Miss Smith County Vocational School beauty pageant winners. This next float is another float from Klein Float Company, and it's co-sponsored by State Farm Insurance and McNeil Furniture. It's filled with children's choirs from local churches. Following them is a vehicle from Marion Automotive Group. Next up, we have Brownie Girl Scout Troop number 326 from Sugar Grove, Virginia. They have approximately 20 Girl Scouts and are members of the only Girl Scout troop in Sugar Grove. Their leader is Sherry Smith, and they're dressed today as Christmas presents. Decorated as a winter wonderland, this float constructed by members of East End Baptist Church shows children playing and carolers singing. Next up, we have a vehicle representing the DARE program with Officer Brenda Kilby. She's the Town of Marion DARE officer. we have members of Girl Scout Troop number 360th Marion. They're riders on a Klein float sponsored by Parkside Therapy Services and Marion Mutual Insurance Company. Girl Scouts is a shiny truck from Marion Automotive Group. And next we have the Northwood High School Band from Saltville, Virginia. Let's take a listen. Chamber of Commerce of Smith County has entered a float again this year. The chamber is directed by Steve Holloway. The next entry is from McDonald's of Marion. Following McDonald's, we have an entry from Subway. This next entry is from Habitat for Humanity, the Marion Senior High chapter. This next float has the winners of the Marion Holiday Kaleidoscope Parade Coloring Contest. They're riding on a Klein float co-sponsored by City Drug and J.C. Penney Catalog Store. Next up is Appalachian Council Brownie Girl Scout Troop number 460, led by Linda Diaz. And following them is a band from FM 94 Radio. And here we have members of BRAD, Blue Ridge Against Drugs. They built this winter holiday float at the Blue Ridge Job Corps Center. Following them are the sights and sounds of the Chilhowie Middle School Band from Chilhowie, Virginia. Following the Chilhowie Middle School Band is Chapter H of the Gold Wing Road Riders, which consists of 14 motorcycles. Following the Gold Wing Road Riders, we have Linda and Travis Widener, dressed as clowns and riding a bike built for two. And speaking of unusual transportation, we have the Kazim Hillbillies. They always have a good time in Marion. This is a Shriners unit from Galax, Virginia. Following the Hillbillies is the entry from the Wytheville Community College Manufacturing Technology Center. It's a mobile unit that provides on-site training to area manufacturers. Next up is a gorgeous antique car. This next entry is from Excel Communication, owned by Corky and Shirley Parks. Next up is a restored 1954 pickup driven by Eric Harmon. And here we have Miss Karma Heath. Among her beauty titles is Miss Rich Valley and Miss Farm Bureau. And here we have an entry from WXBQ 96.9 FM. Following them is a shiny new vehicle from Marion Automotive Group. And next we have transportation of a different kind from the Virginia Wagon and Saddle Club. Next up is a familiar sight from all over Smith and Bland counties. It's the Smith-Bland Regional Library Bookmobile. And here we have an entry from CC Auto and Cleanup. And following them, led in by two antique vehicles, is the Marion Senior High School Band under the direction of Noel Collins. Next, we have the Marion Volunteer Fire Department. They're showing off a number of their vehicles today, including the new snorkel truck and the popular candy wagon. And following the fire department is that jolly old elf himself, Santa Claus, riding on his special Klein float and wishing everyone a happy holiday. everyone at Blue Ridge Public Television would like to wish you and yours a safe and happy holiday season. We would also like to take this opportunity to once again thank the Marion Rotary Club for helping us bring this broadcast to you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas with the Abnormals!